Hello, hope you're well. Thank you for joining and for watching. This is going to be an introduction to essential oils. I'm going to be covering the top 10 essential oils that you can get. And I am specifically talking about doTERRA essential oils. So if you have other brands of essential oils, then please feel free to use this information. However, there are a few safety guidelines that I'm going to be going through because they are different from other oils that you can get, like in Holland and Barrett or just on the high street from supermarkets and pharmacies and stuff. They are very different. So yeah, I'm going to be covering that as we go. But those of you who don't know, my name is Lucinda, and I have been using doTERRA essential oils now for just over 2 years. I had some birthday money and I decided to invest in one of the kits where I got all 10 of the oils that I'm going to speak about. And ever since then, I've been using them and I've been seeing the difference that they are giving me and my family and friends and people that I share them with. I can see the differences that they make to people's lives, and I realised that I could make a little bit of money by doing it. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen. I can find out how. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Okay, come on. Okay. So why am I using essential oils, and who is this crazy oil lady? Crazy Oil Lady is me. That's kind of the brand name that I use online, and yeah, like I said, I've been using them for about 2 years now, and I decided that I wanted to have a more natural product in my home that I could turn to. They are like a medicine cabinet for me, for my physical and for my emotional health, and they're so easy to use. And it's just opened up a whole new world for me, and it's connected me with so many women who are all on the same journey, and we all want to live a healthier, toxic-free life. And it's amazing to be part of a community, although it's online. I have met a lot of them in person at events, and it's amazing to be able to be surrounded by those kinds of people, and yeah, we can all bring each other up. Okay, so what is an essential oil? So an essential oil is natural aromatic compounds that we find in plants. It's their immunity, it's their immune system. And just like humans, a plant's immune system can vary from one plant to the next. So perhaps, you know, I've had chickenpox, perhaps you haven't. So our immune systems are going to be very different. We've come into contact with different environmental threats. So our immune system adapts in different ways. So the same is said for plants. So if we have a plant on a windowsill in a kitchen, or we have a peppermint plant, say, in the garden, the immune system of the plant in the garden is going to be much stronger because it's had to fight off lots of pathogens, so viruses, bacteria, fungus, that come into contact with the plant. The plant on the windowsill is still going to grow and probably thrive quite well, but when we're talking about the immune system, we need to make sure that it's coming into contact with these threats. So one of the reasons that I like to use doTERRA essential oils is because they are grown in their natural environment, so they're not grown in polytunnels, which means that they can be exposed to these pathogens. And that means that we're going to have a much stronger immune system and then a much stronger, more potent oil. So the essential oil industry is not actually regulated, unfortunately, which means that we can buy a bottle of essential oil online or in the high street, and it can say on it 100% pure, but actually it can have as little as 5% of the actual oil that it says is in there actually in the bottle. And the rest of that, they don't have to put on the label what else is in it. So it could have could have chemical fillers, it could have synthetic fragrances, or it could just be a carrier oil. Now, if we're using a tea tree, I like to use tea tree on my skin, on my face, and if I bought one and it's topped up with a carrier oil of sunflower oil, that's not going to be helping my skin. So with these, I am assured, and you can be assured, that they are completely pure, and that means that we have the flexibility to pick which carrier oil we want to use with them. Now, a carrier oil is not an essential oil. It's things like jojoba oil, hemp seed oil, rosehip oil, coconut oil. It's a carrier. So what that does is it carries the essential oil, and by diluting in a carrier oil, it doesn't actually weaken the effect. It can actually help to enhance it, but I'll cover that a little bit later. I just wanted to explain the difference between a carrier oil and an essential oil. So carrier oils, they're not carrier oils. Essential oils are steam distilled or they're cold pressed. Not all essential oil companies will do this. So here's another difference. So some will use chemical extraction, or when they steam distill, they do it at very, very high temperatures. And that can damage the therapeutic quality. Now, you're still going to have the same smell, but the quality of that oil and that immunity and the chemical structure within that essential oil is going to be damaged when you put excessive high heat. And obviously, if you're using other chemicals to extract it from the plant. So yeah, they do it very, very gently, and they cold press all of the citrus oils. The rest are usually steam distilled. So they're very powerful, and we can have safe benefits without side effects. Now, I feel like that is a really quite a bold statement to make, but it's something that I genuinely believe that if you use essential oils within safety guidelines, which I'm going to discuss with you, I hope that's not come up on your screen, email, which I will discuss with you as we go. Some very, very simple guidelines. They can be enjoyed by pretty much everybody safely without side effects. I mean, you could just go and get a packet of paracetamol, and inside there'll be a leaflet in there, and there's a whole list of possible side effects, and it's scary. With these, you can buy them and there's none. Like, as long as you use them safely, it's very easy, then you can enjoy them without side effects. So doTERRA, they are therapeutic grade, and they're essential oils for our physical and our emotional well-being. Kind of says it all. I feel like I've summarised a lot of that already. So how do we know that they are pure? Because like I've said, the essential oil industry is not regulated. So how do we know? So doTERRA use this, I suppose, grading of their essential oils. It's CPTG, so Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. Now that means that they are completely pure and natural. There's no artificial ingredients, fragrances or fillers. Other essential oils you can buy, I did mention that a lot of them can be filled with synthetic fragrances. Now, we are fast becoming aware that synthetic fragrances are extremely harmful to our health, to our endocrine system, that's our hormones, and also our respiratory system. I noticed the other day, I'm going through a lot of processes myself and with my husband and through the house in changing a lot of products that we use. And one of the things that I'm really trying to get rid of is my washing detergent. And my husband suffers quite a bit with hay fever and with asthma. And it suddenly clicked to me the other day that actually by using the detergent and the conditioners and stuff that we have been using, we're surrounding ourselves 24/7 in those chemicals. And I can do no end of work with the food that we eat and the products that we use in the bathroom to make sure that we're not taking on too many toxins, and we're not inhaling too many chemicals. I don't use, obviously, the artificial fragrances you get in like weed diffusers and sprays and things like that. I don't use them. I make all of my own from these oils. But yeah, I can do all of that. But if I don't change the washing powder, we're still surrounding ourselves all of the time. And I thought, you know what, let's try it, and let's see if his asthma improves. So that's something that we're working on at the moment. Obviously, it's going to take a while for everything to have been washed in the new stuff. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, I share a lot of it on my Instagram page, so you can search Crazy Oil Lady, and you can also join my Facebook group, which I will link you to in the email that I send this in. Okay, so I went on a bit of a tangent then. They're safe, certified to be free of pesticides and other chemical residues, so they are completely organic. They're potent, so they're standardised active compounds. So they do these testings, which it says they're tested in-house and third party. So they do 5 tests that they do 3 times, and then they're independently tested. And what they're looking for when they do those tests is, one, that they are free from pesticides and other chemical residues, like it says there, and 2, that they have a standard of active compounds. So within an essential oil, there's a natural chemical makeup, and what they're looking for is a certain quantity of each of the compounds, which is going to give us the benefits that we're looking for. A lot of people find that when they use essential oils, they might use lavender to help them sleep, and it will have worked. And then they go and buy another bottle, and they find that it's not working as well. Now, like I mentioned before, about the plant being on the windowsill or being in the garden, if we're not testing that the active compounds are the same or of a certain standard, then we're going to be letting through essential oils that aren't going to be giving us the effects that we want. So they have a certain level, and if anything goes below that, they just sell it on, and obviously anything above that goes for sale with Total. So they source where the plants thrive most, and usually that's where the plant is indigenous. So they source from over 40 nations, 100 essential oils sourced from more than 40 nations, and they're really, really committed to working with their partners and directly with the farmers and the growers. There's no middlemen here. There's no agents working on behalf of the farmers. They've cut all of that out. And actually, they are paying the farmers and the growers more than they were being paid before by the agents. And a lot of these countries are developing countries, third world countries, so they work really closely to ensure that they have what they need for sustainable growth and living conditions at the end of the day for them and their family. So it's a really, really ethical company, and I'm becoming a lot more aware about how I spend my money, and what are these companies doing with the money that they're profiting from. And for me, when I buy these essential oils, I'm not just seeing the benefits that they're going to give to me, but also the benefits that they're going to give to the families who have grown and harvested and distilled the essential oils. So that for me is a real big factor. Okay, so some of the essential oils. Now, if you're watching this, I hope that you've got some little samples. I like to send a few for people to use as they're watching it. If you don't have them, please do let me know, and I'll be happy to send you some. The lemon, you'll have some lemon. Now, lemon is really good for concentration, it reduces anxiety and promotes a happy mood. So when we use essential oils for our emotional well-being, by inhaling them, just from the bottle, by inhaling them, they go through the olfactory bulb and they reach the limbic system, the limbic part of the brain, which is responsible for our emotions, among a few other things. But when we do that, and we do it with a therapeutic grade essential oil, it can actually help to change the chemical reactions that are happening in that part of our brain. And we can pick an essential oil to help us feel a different way. So lemon is an up oil, it's very uplifting, it's very good for any kind of anxiety, low moods, anything like that. I love it. It's very good for colds and sore throat, so you could apply it topically with a carrier oil. For some people, they like to drink it in their water. It's not suitable for everybody, but generally they are safe to ingest. It's just if you're on medication or if you're pregnant, and definitely not for children, you would have to just be cautious. And just seek advice from your GP or consultant, whoever you're working with. It's very good for cleaning, it removes grease, crayon marks on your walls. So for me, to be able to make cleaning products out of these essential oils and have them help to change my mood is amazing. So you can be cleaning your kitchen and, you know, supporting your mood as well, and that's amazing. So there is a little note there that it says all citrus oils are photosensitive, so don't use this on your skin and then go out into the sun or go on a sunbed. And I would also be quite cautious about if you've been on a sunbed and you want to put oils on, just be very careful. Okay, next one, lavender. So I'm sure everyone's familiar with lavender. It's very good for any kind of itchy skin, so whether that's bites, chicken pox, stings, any kind of itchy inflamed skin. It really helps to calm it down and take any redness out. Burns, it's a good one to have on hand in the kitchen if you like cooking a lot. It really just takes that heat away and helps to promote the skin healing. Good for any teething, so you can use it diluted along the jawline, and I think that not only does it help to reduce the pain, but it also helps to calm the baby as well. Good for cuts. Now you wouldn't want to put it directly onto an open wound, you just put it around the area, and again, especially if it's a child and you put the lavender on them, it not only helps with the skin healing, but it also helps to calm them down if they're emotionally upset about what's happened. Ear infections, so this one's really good to use for ear infections along with melaleuca, which I'll talk to you about on its own in a bit. You wouldn't put it down the ear, so you wouldn't put any essential oils in the eyes, up the nose, but down the ears. So what you would do is you would just apply it just onto the bone behind the ear, dilute it again, for ear infections. Very calming, and it's the oil of communication, so it helps to open up communication between people. All of the essential oils have emotional benefits to them, and it's really interesting if that's something you're interested in finding out more about, the emotional side of the oils. Then I'd be really happy to share some more about that. I'll just find lavender. This book is amazing. This is Emotions and Essential Oils. So I'll just read you a little bit about lavender. So the oil of communication. Lavender aids verbal expression. It calms the insecurities that are felt when one risks their true thoughts and feelings. Lavender addresses a deep fear of being seen and heard. Individuals in need of lavender hide within, blocking all forms of true self-expression. While they may be going through the motions of outward expression, they're actually holding back their innermost thoughts and feelings. The expression is not connected to the heart or the soul. It does go on, but just to give you an idea of how we can use them emotionally as well. Okay, peppermint. Where's my peppermint? I haven't got my peppermint yet. Okay, I'll have to pretend. Is that cool? Okay, so peppermint is very good for colds and congestion. You should have some with your samples. You could put a drop just in your hand, rub your hand together, and just really take a moment to really inhale that. You'll feel it clearing the airways. So you can imagine it's very good if you have a cold or any kind of congestion. Very good for sinuses, headaches. It just helps to relieve that tension, so you can apply it to your head and your temples and down the back of your neck. So peppermint, as some of you will be aware, is very good for digestive issues. So if you have any stomach cramps or constipation, it's very good at sort of bringing back any balance within the stomach. It's also very good if you're feeling nauseous. So any motion sickness or perhaps morning sickness, just if you're ever feeling a little bit queasy, it's a good one just to have a smell of out of the bottle. So if you've done that drop in your hands, you might like to just rub it onto the back of your neck, and you'll notice as it's in your hands, it's not greasy at all. You probably actually can't tell that it's there anymore, but it is. So just give the back of your neck a little rub, and in a few moments you'll start to feel a sort of cooling, tingling sensation. So that makes it really good to use for fevers. It's very good in hot weather, or if you're having hot flushes, it's very good to take the heat out and just to help cool you down. It's good on public transport, in the hot weather. We're having a bit of a heat wave at the moment. So yeah, it's really, really quite good for that. And with children with fevers, it's very good for them to burn out a fever. So the peppermint just helps to cool their skin, to make them more comfortable so they can sleep and rest, and in turn that's going to help the body to heal. It's very good for alertness. It's a natural stimulant. So it's a really good one to use in the middle of the afternoon, maybe with some wild orange. They're a really good mix, those two. You can use them together in the palm of the hands and just have a moment just to really inhale it, rub it on the back of your neck, and it really kind of helps to give you a boost for the rest of the day. So, or in the first thing in the morning, it's really good for. So lemon, lavender and peppermint, the three I've just spoke about, are really, really powerful antihistamine trio. So you can use all three of those for any kind of histamine allergy. So you can just have a drop of each in your hands and inhale it. You can get nasal inhalers. You might have had them, I don't know whether Vicks do them, you just kind of put them up your nose a bit and you inhale it. So you can get ones of those that haven't got anything on them, so you can put your oils on them. You have them in a roller ball just to apply around your sinuses and down your nose, or just on the soles of your feet. You would just have to be careful, especially if you're using it for hay fever, about the lemon. So if you're using it on your skin, just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're going out into the sunshine, you're going to have some kind of sensitivity there with the sun. You'll get quite badly burnt. So what I would recommend for that is just to use it on the soles of your feet or in an area that isn't going to be exposed to the sun. You could also, for adults, drink all three of these. Just have a drop of each in some water and drink that throughout the day. But again, if you're taking any medication, just let me know. I mean, I'm not an aromatherapist, I'm not medically trained. I could perhaps point you in the right direction. Generally, a lot of doctors, they're not very open to this kind of thing, which is understandable. They've been trained in a very different way. So you can I would just do your research online and do what you feel comfortable with. I am in no way diagnosing or prescribing anything. So yeah, do some research yourself and see if it's going to have any contraindications with medication you're taking. So yeah, I've just gone through that. Lemon, lavender and peppermint, they are the antihistamine trio. Okay, so when we have a virus, it lives inside our cells, as you can see on that image there. We have a bacterial infection, it lives outside of our cells. Now, when we go to the doctors, or if we want to go to the doctors with a viral infection, so like a cold, if we're suffering quite badly, they can't actually give us anything, and they'll just tell us to take ibuprofen, paracetamol, Lemsip, like Vicks, that kind of thing, just to help with the symptoms. So there's nothing they can give us to help with the virus, because it lives inside our cells, and our cells are fat-based, they're lipid. So it makes it very difficult to be using water-based medicines, because fat and water don't mix, which is why when they give us antibiotics, which are usually water-based, water-soluble, they can't penetrate our cells and affect the virus. so we're left to suffer basically. But with essential oils, they are fat-based, so they can penetrate our cells, and it takes no energy whatsoever from the body to absorb that. And a lot of the essential oils that we use are antiviral, they're also antibacterial, so we can help over both areas there. So if it's something you're looking to reduce, if you have to take a lot of antibiotics, or you just want to have something that you can use if you do need to maybe have antibiotics, I find that when I first start to feel something happening is when I'll get on with the oils. I'll use them quite heavily for a good 24, 48 hours, and I find that it nips it in the bud. Over the last 2 winters, usually during the winter, I'll have at least 1 or 2 colds. But over the last 2 winters, I've had 1, and it's only lasted me 2 days. I was really poorly. I was in bed, but it only lasted me 2 days. And, you know, usually that would have been a week, maybe 10, 14 days until I actually felt like I was better again. After the 2 days, it was just, it was weird. It was like, did that happen? I recovered really quickly, and this is one of the oils that I was using, Melaleuca. So this is tea tree. It comes from the Melaleuca plant. So it's like a first aid for the skin. So anything funky going on with the skin, it's an antiseptic, it's antifungal, so it's good for things like athlete's foot, anything like that. And like I said, it's good for ear infections alongside lavender. So as I've said, it's good for infections in general. So for me, it's my throat to go first. So I will use this diluted on my throat. I'll do that several times a day. And then if it continues to get worse, then I add other oils, which I'll talk about in a minute. And, you know, keep going with that. It's also very good for head lice. You could use it as a preventative. I find it's also quite good for dandruff. You can just add it into your shampoo or your conditioner. For lice, obviously, you can just comb that through. But yeah, you could use it as a preventative in a child's shampoo. So oregano, this is the next one that I would add if I still wasn't getting any relief. So I would add that with the Melaleuca. So it's like nature's antibiotics. So the two work really, really well together. It is very, very powerful. This is a hot oil, and you would always, always dilute this. I mean, lavender, you can get away with using a little bit neat occasionally, but certainly you wouldn't want to be using it every day neat on your skin, especially on your face. Now, with dilution, the recommendations of how to dilute are very vague. And the reason for that is because we can't be seen to be prescribing people, because if we were to give a dilution, that would be a dosage and that would be a prescription of some kind. And secondly, everybody's different. So you have to test for any skin sensitivities. Most people are usually fine. Their reaction rate worldwide, they have millions of users now. Worldwide, it's 0.0072%. So it's a really, really low reaction rate. And that includes people just saying they didn't like the oil. And 9 times out of 10, the reason that people are having reaction is because they are not diluting and they're using them neat. So, or using them in areas that they shouldn't, or it's getting in their eyes or down their ears, or, you know. So you just have to have common sense around it. So yeah, it's nature. Oh yeah, dilution. So everybody's different, and also it depends on how often you're going to be using the oil and where on the body you're going to be using it, because the skin is different in different places. So if you're using it on your face, you would want to have it really, really quite diluted, whereas on the bottom of your feet, you can get away with having a much heavier dilution, even neat, because the skin is much thicker there. So it really depends, and you really have to just get using them and become confident with them. And you're only going to become confident by using them and, you know, trying things out and see how they work. I tried this, I tried it neat, I tried it on my husband's finger, and he was not a very happy bunny. So definitely don't use this one. Just don't use this one neat. It's good for warts and verrucas. That's what I was using it for on my husband's finger, as warts. It's good for candida, so it's very good. You can take this internally as part of a sort of cleanse protocol for candida and any kind of gut issues, so any parasites and things like that. It's very good for you. You would only take this internally for a maximum of 10 days, and then you would need to have a break because it is a very, very powerful oil. Very good for athlete's foot, and yeah, it's a big player in immune support, so it's really good to use when you do feel like you're coming down. So I've mentioned a few things about safety as we've gone on, so here it all is. So when used responsibly, the oils are very safe and gentle without side effects. Safest place to use them is on the soles of the feet. Dilute in most instances. This is done with a carrier oil, not water. Oil and water do not mix. Keep out of the eyes, ears and nose. Remove with a carrier oil if it feels sensitive, or if it's gotten into an area that it shouldn't have. So if you're feeling like it's too much, you just need to use a carrier oil and some tissue or a cotton pad just to remove it. And what it will do is it will just dilute it and you can just wipe it away. Whereas if you try to rinse it with water, it's just going to end up spreading that oil around and not actually getting rid of it. You'd always test for skin sensitivity, as I've mentioned. Citrus oils are photosensitive, and always follow the label instructions. If you have any doubt about anything, please just ask me. I'm here to help you. So there's 3 ways to use. You've heard me mention a few of them, so I'm just going to go over them here now for you. There's aromatic use, so you can use a diffuser in a room to purify the air, to help to change an emotion. So when we use essential oils like this, I always recommend to use a cold vapor diffuser. Anything with heat is going to damage the therapeutic quality in the oil. So any of these oil burners, I mean, you can obviously use them, but it's going to take the it makes it pointless. You know, it's going to smell nice, but you're not going to have that therapeutic benefit, and it would be a massive waste. So topical, you can apply diluted onto the skin during massage or for topical therapy. So if there's any localized issue going on, whether you've got aching joints or skin issues, or you've got an upset stomach, you can use them topically on the area. You can also use them internally or orally. So this is for adults only, and excuse me. For adults only, and anyone on medication must either do their own research and definitely speak to their doctor for any medicine contraindications. So you can do that in a cold drink, in honey, coconut oil, or in a veggie capsule. You can basically get these empty capsules, because if you don't like the taste of something, especially something like oregano, it's really, really intense if you drink it. You can get capsules that you can actually just take the lid off, they're empty, and you can put your oil in, pop the lid back on, and then take that internally, and then you don't have to have the taste of it. So some more oils, we've got Breathe. So this is a blend. So doTERRA create some blends. They are still neat, so they are not diluted. And this one contains laurel leaf, eucalyptus, peppermint, melaleuca, lemon, and cardamom. So it's really supportive of the respiratory system. So it's good for colds and congestion, any asthma, snoring. It's actually very calming, so it's good for anxiety. A friend of mine actually laboured with this. She gave birth to a little girl breathing on some of Breathe. The name has actually changed because it's still quite a new company within Europe and the UK. They're going through a lot of the EU regulations. So this is now called Air. Apparently Breathe sounded like it was going to help you to breathe. So they have to be quite careful. So yeah, it's now called Air. But yeah, it's very good in any kind of meditation work, any yoga. Just helps to really open up the airways and just reminds you to take a really deep breath, to relax and to breathe. Somebody actually, going back to Breathe, they were using it with their for their husband because he was snoring a lot. She had a diffuser and she was like, "Yes, it's amazing, it's working, stops him snoring." But the diffuser only goes on for 4 hours. suddenly starts dying again. She has since managed to find a diffuser that stays on for longer. And we've got Zengest. So again, another blend. This is the digestive blend. My bottle for some reason is all in German, so I can't read it to you, but it's got things like fennel, it's got peppermint, lemon, cardamom, lots of oils that help to bring some balance back into the digestive system. So anything going on, it just helps to bring that balance back. And that's all our bodies are ever constantly trying to do, is to come back into some balance. On Guard, this is amazing, this oil. So it's amazing for immune support, so you can diffuse it for protection, as well as applying it to the soles of your feet. So it's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. You can use it as a natural antibacterial hand cleanser. So I would literally just put a drop in my hand, rub my hands together, and that's it. And because it's all natural, it's not going to be doing any sort of damage to our natural microbiome on our skin. Yeah, it's really supportive for fighting germs. They diffuse this in over 120 hospitals in America, and that's because they found that it kills airborne MRSA. And they're also trialling this one in a couple of hospitals in the UK. I've heard. So I don't actually know for sure, but it would be amazing if that was something they were going to start rolling out. I know a few schools use this one in all of their classrooms, just so that the kids aren't off sick all the time. There was a pharmacist on my team who she ran a trial with children who had the On Guard and the children who didn't have the On Guard, and found that the children that were using it daily just on the soles of their feet had a much higher attendance rate at school, and also they were using a lot less Calpol. So it also helps to keep surfaces clean. There's a really amazing study that's just coming out where they cleaned, they had 2 hospital rooms, and they cleaned one of them with On Guard, just On Guard and tap water. And in the other room, they used a commercial multi-purpose antibacterial cleaner. And naturally, when you clean the surface, within a few minutes, definitely within a few hours, you don't have to go anywhere near it, and bacteria will already start to be coming back on that surface, which is natural. But with the On Guard, they found that after 5 days there was still no bacteria on that surface. Obviously nobody had been in these rooms. After 5 days there was still nothing there, so that is amazing. So it's really, really good to clean the house with. I use I've got a big glass spray bottle that I use On Guard and lemon in to clean. I clean everywhere with the same thing. Sometimes I'll get the bottle and I'll put the oil directly onto the area if it's something particularly stubborn. But the whole idea that we go into the shops and we have a cleaner for this, we have a cleaner for that, and we have a cleaner for that, it's all just marketing. It's generally all the same product, and it's these cleaners that they're finding are so harmful to our health. There's a study that came out, 20-year-long study, and they found that people who used commercial cleaning products regularly, so that's once a week, it was just as harmful to their health as smoking 20 cigarettes a day. And you may be thinking, oh, well, I use that and I feel fine. You don't realise the actual impact that it's probably having inside your body, inflammation inside your body, and your body is going to be struggling in lots of ways to try and get rid of those toxins. And especially if you're then loading it with extra toxins in your food and then in your personal care products and your shower gels, it's just a lot for the body to take. So just by using this, it works better. It smells amazing. It smells like Christmas. And it's got cloves, cinnamon, wild orange. Beautiful oil to use in the winter, which is when you use it most anyway. Yeah, it's just amazing. Love that oil. So then we've got Deep Blue. Now Deep Blue always comes in a smaller bottle, because this one is one that we do not internalize, and we do not diffuse. So this is just topical oil only, and you can see there, if I just compare it to this one, it's got a different lid on it, and the reason for that is it's a childproof cap. It's got wintergreen in this. Now if you were to have 1 drop of wintergreen, it would be equivalent to taking 70 aspirins. So it's incredibly powerful. So do not take this internally. That cap should be a big hint. It's very good for arthritis and any joint, general joint support. It's very good for any muscle ache. If you exercise a lot and you get DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness, it's very good to use before you get it. So after you exercise, you can use it to help with that. Any kind of inflammation, bashes and bruises, any aching joints, aching muscles. Very good for migraines. You can use it on the back of your neck, across your shoulders, your forehead. I didn't mention actually lavender and peppermint together. They're both very good for headaches. If it's more intense than that, I would go to the Deep Blue, but I always usually start with the lavender and the peppermint. Deep Blue is also very good for period pains. You can use it just across your stomach, on your back. Very, very soothing. There's also a blend called Claricalm. It's not one of the ones I'm speaking about in this, but that's very good for helping to balance hormones. So I usually will use the Deep Blue, and then I use the Claricalm on top. Very, very supportive. So co-impact sourcing. So I touched a little bit on this earlier, talking about the different countries that they source their oils from. You can see for the 4 people at the front here, so you've got the 2 here with the hats on, and then these 2. They are some of the founding executives. I'm not sure where this is. I think this is this is Haiti. That's right, Haiti, which is where they source their vetiver from. Now Haiti has seen quite a lot of devastation over the last few years, and I mean, regardless of that, it is a country that's struggling. But the fact that they've had a lot of devastation with natural disasters recently, well, in recent years anyway, has been really, really difficult for them. Especially, they're just finding their feet, and then something happens. So doTERRA have been really, really supportive with them. They when their crops have failed, or if they've been sort of ruined, they've still paid them. Whereas, other companies, if they don't have the product, then they're not going to pay them. But, they want to be fair, and they want to help to support them. And if they can't, they can't support them in their business, then they're not going to be able to have a decent supply and a sustainable business relationship, because it just won't be able to stand the test of time if they can't invest. So they pay them well, and they help to build these communities, build schools, build healthcare centres, and they also help to educate the women. So they work with a lot of charities. One of them is called Days for Girls, and they help to educate women and girls about their periods, and that it's okay, it's bleeds and it's normal. They give them reusable sanitary wear as well, so they can carry on with their day-to-day lives. And they also help to educate the men as well, because a lot of the issues out there, not only with them not having any sanitary wear, it's also because as communities they believe that women who are bleeding are cursed, and that they should be in a separate living environment. and they're helping to educate the communities around women, I suppose. And yeah, it's really, really amazing what they're doing. It's just one of the charities that I could talk all day and probably cry all night about all the charity work that they do. It's truly, truly amazing. If you want to find out more about it, I can send you a link. They have a website with lots of their projects on that they're working on. Okay, so last oil, we've got frankincense, which is the best. So frankincense is amazing for immune support. I use it anytime that, like I said, a few times in this, anytime I feel like I'm getting a cold, I use my oils, but I always layer it with frankincense. It's very, very supportive for our cellular health. Very good for any kind of neurological health. So it's also very good for migraines. So what you would do is you could just put a drop on your thumb and put it on the roof of your mouth, and the molecules in frankincense are small enough to pass through the blood-brain barrier, which makes them obviously very good for any kind of neurological conditions. Good for skincare. You may have seen this appearing in lots of anti-aging creams. So it's really supportive for sort of skin regeneration. It's good for cellular health. Now, I mentioned that just a minute ago. Now, what that means is basically our bodies naturally go through this process called apoptosis. Now, when that happens, basically something is going on inside us. So we've either got a bacterial infection, we've got a virus, or our cells just aren't behaving how they should be. And our bodies will naturally know that that's happening, and they will kill those cells off. It's called false cell death. Apoptosis is the process, and then it just gets metabolized. Now, sometimes that doesn't happen, so we end up poorly, we have infections, or we can have more serious conditions going on around our cells. And when we use frankincense, it just helps to remind our bodies to go through that apoptosis process. So it's very good for wounds, warts and verrucas, and it's incredibly calming and balancing, very, very grounding, good for any kind of stress, anxiety. It's lovely in the evening. Wild orange I haven't spoken about, but you should have some of that in your samples. That's lovely with frankincense in the evening. Wild orange is also lovely with peppermint. You can do that together in your hands. It's very, very calming, very relaxing, good one for sleep. It's not actually one that's included in the kit, but if you get a kit, I send you one for free anyway. So here is just some recipes. So I mentioned about my Facebook group. I share some of these recipes in there. So it's just a few different ways that you can make some products yourself using the essential oils. Healthy hot chocolate. Okay, so there's 3 different ways you can buy these. You can buy retail, so basically you let me know what you want and I order it for you, and I'll either have it sent straight to you, or if I'm doing an order at the same time, I will send it out to you. We'll work it out. Or wholesale, so you can get yourself a wholesale account, which is what I've got. It's £28.80 for the first year, and after that it's £15, but you get a free peppermint oil. It doesn't automatically renew, it only does that if you purchase something after the year. So your account stays open. If you purchase something after the year, that just gets added on. And that gets you 25% off the retail price, which is exactly the same price as what I pay. Once you have your own account, you can then order as and when you wish. You don't have to keep coming back to me, or you might like to come back to me just to ask what you might need, or get support through the group. That will give you ideas of what you might like to order. And once you have your account, you can also take advantage of a lot of their offers, and they have special offers every month of different products to get more savings. And there's also a loyalty reward scheme. If you want to build up a bit of a collection slowly, you can do that and get points and get them back with products. All the best value for money is with a kit. So here are some images of the kits. So they all contain at least the 10 oils I spoke about this evening. It's the best value for money. It is an investment, but I haven't looked back, to be quite honest with you. So the Family Essentials kit, these are all 5ml bottles. This is a 5ml, this is a 15ml. Basically, you get around 80 drops in that one and about 280 in this one. So you get all the 10 oils I've covered tonight, plus you get a 15ml Smart and Sassy Metabolic Blend. The account fee is waived, so that £28.80 is waived, so that is now going towards oils. You get a one-to-one overview with me over the phone or Zoom, Skype, whatever. Get a little welcome pack, including the wild orange, some empty roller bottles so you can get making a few things, and a little A to Z guide so you can see where you're going with it all. Home Essentials kit, they're all 15ml, apart from the Deep Blue, which is, like I said, is always a 5ml. You get a diffuser, which is worth £37.80 anyway. So this one's less than double the price. You're getting 3 times the amount of oils and you're getting a diffuser. So it's really, really good value for money. And again, you get all of the things that I mentioned previously. I have got written on here, there's a June special offer. Some months they have big offers, and these will be on these kits, anything from this kit and above. So I'll probably email if there is an offer on this monthly, if you're watching this. And then there's the Family Wellness kit. So you get the top 10, plus you get some extras. So you get their range of long life vitality supplements. Top 10, by the way, are all in 5ml bottles. So it's nice to be able to just try them. Maybe you've already got a diffuser at home. So you can just have the 5mls and just try them out. And then when you reorder, they usually come in a 15ml. That's when you order anyway. You get their lifelong vitality supplements, which are worth about £70 anyway. So this is really, really good value for money. You get their fractionated coconut oil, On Guard hand wash, their natural toothpaste, past tense blend, which is very good for any tension, sort of muscular tension or headache tension. It's very good for. You get the On Guard soft gels and beadlets. So these are capsules that you can take internally to support the immune system. And again, one-to-one overview with me, a welcome pack, and support via the Facebook group. So that's it. I feel like I've covered everything. If you have any questions at all, I wonder if I can stop the share. Yeah, I can. If you have any questions at all, please do get in touch. I'll be really happy to help you. If you didn't have any of the samples as we went along, just let me know and I'll send them to you. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you soon. Okay, bye.